Hello everybody, here we are today talking about Alex Ovechkin getting hot at the right time and whether or not his chase for Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal record is still a go. So before we get into that, please make sure to subscribe if you're new to me or hockey, whatever the case may be. That being said, let's get on into it. As I'm sure you all know by now, Alex Ovechkin is second all-time in NHL goals for a career. He is behind Wayne Gretzky, who finished his career with 894. Alex, going into this season, was at 822 and was 72 goals away from tying the Great One, and now the Great Eight had a lot of work to do. Fortunately, last season he entered the campaign with hopes of trying to catch up to Gretzky, and then he finished last season with 42 goals. Very impressive thing to do there. And you're thinking, if he gets another 40-goal season, this record is pretty much a win, not if. Unfortunately, we're starting to see some things from Ovi that are really not the norm. So to start off the year, he had back-to-back games where he failed to get a shot on goal. That had never happened. And also in his first 12 games, he had 2 goals. But you're thinking, it's okay. This is a guy that is a 9-time Rocket winner. He has scored goals for the entirety of his career. But then we'd see something, again, we had never seen before, as he goes goalless in 14 games from November 22nd to December 20th. 51 shots, none of those find the back of the net, and a lot of this talk starts to build up about Alex Ovechkin is washed. Alex Ovechkin trying to chase Gretzky's record is over with. It's done. Gretzky's record is safe. It doesn't really help that after this you get to see Ovi have another goalless drought, this one being 8 games, and through 43 games, Alex Ovechkin would have 8 goals. Why is that significant? Well, it just means that he would be on pace over a full season to hit 15 goals. Why is that significant? Well, every single season that he's been in the NHL, he's cracked over 20 goals. The lowest total that he ever had for goals in a season was 24 during the 2021 season, which was a shortened campaign. He had 24 goals in 47 games played, which is a 42-goal pace. So this is really where you're saying we're in uncharted waters here, and this is time to panic because it's not the norm. Now, fortunately for the hopeful of the people that were hoping to see Ovi pass Gretzky's record, things seem to be turning around a little bit here as Ovechkin has 5 goals in 5 games. And it sparked a lot of talk about whether or not this thing is back on. In my opinion, I think it is. Now, I know some of this talk around this has been that Ovechkin ended up passing Gretzky for the most empty net goals in his career. A lot of people have been harping on that. The reality is he's got one more. And I don't want to sound too harsh here, but what are you doing? Okay, I see a lot of these comments and I imagine that you just have a normal job. And I'm not trying to harp on you, but if you're trying to discredit what something that is so incredible has happened here and what somebody has done, what is your argument? I mean, that he scored some empty net goals? Over 86% of his goals are non-empty net goals in the NHL. He's a 9-time Rocket winner. He has scored a lot of power play goals, and I know people probably harp on that as well, and they say, well, he just stands there and he just takes a shot. What do you want him to do? I mean, he scores goals, and if you say he just, he feasts on the power play, again, what do you want him to do? The other team knows that they have to try to stop him. They know that it's coming. They just haven't been able to do it over this time in NHL history. And that's kind of where I'm at, where if you want to argue about it, I can't really argue with you because if it's so easy, why aren't you out there doing it? So I don't really know what to say about that. The reality is he's just a goal scorer. That's something he's been able to go out there and do during the entirety of his career. You might bag some empty netters in that time, and I would say don't celebrate when your team scores on the power play. And certainly don't celebrate when your team scores an empty net goal. Now, circling back to the whole talking point about whether or not Ovi can catch Gretzky, I think there are some good things. Again, this goal streak that he's got going here is really good. You have a situation where you go from being on pace for 15 goals in a season to having 13 right now with 31 games left to play. I'm not saying that he's going to go out there and score in all 31 games or that he's going to catch Gretzky's record in the time. That would be absolutely ludicrous. However, I am saying that a guy that maybe has been struggling to find confidence or just deal with the fact that he's not been able to be a goal scorer like he normally is might start to get hot at this point. Let's just say that over the remaining 31 games, he scores 10 goals. He would go from being 59 goals away from tying Gretzky's record to 49 goals. And why is that important? Well, it's important because he is under contract for 2 more seasons, and with that, you would say that there's a good chance he could get 49 goals in 2 seasons. I'm not going to say that this season is the total beginning of a fall off or anything like that. There are still some signs that are really good if you're hoping to see this record broken. One of those being that league-wide, Alex Ovechkin is 28th in shots, and when you look at the amount of power play time that he has, it's going to be big. Also, look at how many shots he has on the power play compared to anyone else on his team. He has more than double the shots than anybody else on the man advantage. Dylan Strome has something like 29 shots on the power play. Ovi is at 67 or 68. This is still an individual that will fire away at the back of the net and has a lower goal total than expected goal total. He has 17 expected goals. He has 13 in reality. So there is a good shot that he closes out the year hot and kind of pushes off the Ovi is washed narrative. And I'm really hoping that we get to see him hit 20 goals, maybe even get to 25 over this final stretch. So am I on the camp where this record is still in the possibility of being broken? I am. Am I in the realm that I think it is going to be a guarantee? I do think it is, because I don't see Ovi retiring in 2 years. I would see him signing with any team that would give him a contract in the NHL that would give him the opportunity to pass Gretzky. At this point, he's won a championship. At this point, he has seen a lot of team success. At this point, he's seen a lot of individual success. Right now, this is the record that I think he has to focus on, and while you still want to be a good teammate and a good player, but what it really comes down to, in 2 years, he's not hanging up the skates. He's going to go out there and try to get this thing done and maybe even crack into 900 goals. Now, do I think that he's going to go out there and hit 1,000 career goals? Probably not, unless things get turned around here quick, but I am hoping that this end of the season can kind of usher in a good start to next season, because if things continue to be problematic, then you could probably say that it's not going to happen. You can't have 14-game goalless droughts anymore. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Do you think that Ovi is going to be able to keep the momentum through the rest of the year? Do you think that he's still going to be able to break Gretzky's record? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Also, please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. Everybody stay safe. Have a great night. And you love hockey, all right. Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.